Well, there she is. Hello everybody. It's a two-wheeling Belgian, so this is the first video that I'm officially making in terms of content creation on this channel. This is gonna be a channel all about motorcycles, obviously. Gonna be doing reviews, gonna be doing some rides, a lot of rides, most of the part. Talking about all the things that we have here in Europe, especially in Belgium, in comparison to other situations around the world. Gonna be showing a lot of stuff that is in Belgium, because it's a small country, but it's a fun one. But first and foremost, we're going to be doing now a review of my new Honda CBR600RR 2024 model, which I've been riding a lot for the past couple of months since I've had it. I don't like to do like a first impression like on a bike I own. Like I try to make like a couple of months of riding, like almost 4,000 kilometers on it now, before I can get like a comprehensive review on it, on how it feels and how it performs. But yeah, so we're here in sunny Belgium. It is the end of October. We got 22 degrees, which is crazy good. So it makes for some nice situations to get some recordings going. The new CBR600RR, obviously it looks amazing. It looks really good. You have the two colorways, the red one with the blue and white, and then you have the matte black one. I got the matte black one. Why? Because this was the one that I could get a hand off. Right now I like this color the most, which is good for me, of course, because I have this one. When I first went and looked for this model, I wanted to get the red one first, but there's a huge issue. First thing with Belgium is that it's a small country, so you have really low amount of import of these bikes. The demand is really lower than, for example, a BMW GS. In Europe, everybody is a touring boy. Not a lot of super sport types around anymore. So yeah, these are a little bit less in demand, so you gotta get your hands on it really soon, or you won't get it in one at all. So I went to every single dealership, and they all gave me basically the same answer. So all the big dealerships, they were like, yeah, well, we're all sold out. The first one you can get is in 2025, mid 2025 at the very first. Kawasaki on the ZX6R, they couldn't even give me a new, like a 2024 model, because they were all gone. So I could only get a payment in advance on a 2025 ZX6R model, which I didn't want to do, because I don't know the bike. Don't know what changes it would have had, and they didn't even have a price on it for me when I went to. This one I found at a small dealership, and I asked them, like, when is the soonest moment that you can get me a CBR600RR like you have right here in the window? And they said to me like, yeah, well, we have the one right here, you can have it right now. I was like, but it had a plate on it that said sold. So I told them like, yeah, but it has a little sticker on it. It says sold. And they said to me like, yeah, no, the person who ordered it from us, he canceled it because he found one closer by. I'm gonna go over some details with it, and then afterwards we're gonna do a little bit of a ride. But I'm gonna work from all the way up front, all the way towards the back. Could be that I missed something, but this is for me personally, this will be the most important information that I can share with you guys. I'm not going to share like all of the different specs, but the most important ones for me personally. Okay, if I get something wrong, could be, I hope not. If I would do something wrong, I will put it on the screen to correct it. First and foremost, you got the Tokico brakes in the front. For me, the brakes are amazing. The only thing that I would change is that you have your normal brake lines, so you don't have the steel brake lines. I haven't ridden it on track yet. Plan on doing that in the future, but not at the moment yet. The brakes work perfectly. I only am a little bit of afraid when you go to a track day that they will get soft, the front brakes at a certain time, because they're not steel brake lines. But for the rest, amazing brakes. Front forks fully adjustable. You got the preload adjuster, but you can also adjust the height, which is amazing. The little wings, which have been added. Pretty much any super sport bike needs to have wings these days to be sold. But apparently they have a purpose in being the cornering stability. The bike itself, it steers like an absolute beast. I have ridden before this. My first bike was a 2005 Triumph Daytona 650, so it has a 636 engine in it. That was like a nimble bike, but this bike weighs the same, but it steers like 3 times as efficient or at least it feels like it. You can really whip it about, and in the corners it is super stable. Is that all due to the wings? Of course not. Like maybe a couple of percentages here and there, but Honda says it helps in the cornering, so we're gonna go with Honda on that one. But it looks amazing. That's the main part of it, of course, for everyone who likes it. Like that front, it just looks crazy. Like that looks so aggressive. The main thing that people don't like about this bike are the indicators. So because they are so high up and they stick out all the way, they're a little bit in the view. Me personally, I got used to it, and in the night it looks amazing because they're always on, typical Honda fashion, so they're always lit, and I like it. I like it. Now maybe put a picture of the gram which I took on there, and then you can see. Maybe you like it, maybe you don't. Me personally, I got used to it and I like it now. But that was the main stick up for me as well before I bought it. Like, do I like it or not? But in all sincerity, I couldn't care less at this point. Like, it's an amazing bike. So if it's such a small detail, then don't buy a bike at all. Because you have so little choice in good 600s nowadays, like new ones. So if that is the only thing that you're stuck up with, yeah, sorry man, but go buy a GS or something. Then you're just not sports, super sport minded. Mirrors, super big, functional of course, but they're not too annoying. You have, I'll just go over all the riding modes. So you have power 1 through 5, so you have 5 power modes. You have traction control 1 through 9. You have wheelie control 1 through 3, and engine braking also 1 through 3. Obviously temperature gauge. I now have the carbon setting at the back, but you can change it to white, black, matte, so a lot of stuff. Trip, I'll show you guys how much I have on total. So 3,637 kilometers I have in close to 2 months. You can change it from revolutions, the minute, to your time, to your average speed, usage in fuel, your average fuel, and that's pretty much it on that. So you have the different modes. You have your adjustable modes, yeah, so the user modes. You can also, I saw it in a French version of this bike, that you can also put like the traction control totally off and the wheelie control totally off. I haven't yet figured it out how I can do it with this one, or if I even can do it, but the lowest I can change it, like on the dash, it's only to a 1. Then you have rain mode, and then you have the twisty mode, and then you have track mode. I usually put it on the twisty mode, especially on the roads in Belgium, which I will go over in other videos. Like, Belgian roads are one of the worst in Europe. Like, maybe not in Europe, but one of the worst in Western high paycheck Europe. So we are all the way in the front. You can change the indicator for the switch gear. You can change it when it starts blinking. Right now I have it at 15k RPMs, but you can put it even higher. But I like it at 15. You have the 6-axis IMU, which is on there. So cornering stability, you have the ABS, you have the traction control, all of that. So, and it also has the brake assist when you go heavy on the front brakes, that your rear brake will preload and it will also start braking. So it helps with getting less risk on getting the rear tire lifting up. Obviously you have right here, you have the quick shifter up, you have the auto blip down. I always get difficulty with getting that word auto blip through my brain. I don't know why. Always gets lost in my memory. And then you have at the back, obviously have that nice muffler, which I will expand on a little bit. You have the Nissan brakes at the back. That brings us then to the back of the bike on the exhaust. So the exhaust on this one, I love it. That's one of the big reasons why I got this one instead of that I went searching for a ZX6, for example, because you have that undertail exhaust. I really love the look of it, and it sounds great for being a Euro 5 Plus exhaust system. If you look at the ZX6, for example, you have the huge pipe on the side, which looks horrible. So you're almost like you almost need to buy the performance pack with the Akrapovic exhaust on it just to make it not look horrible. But on this bike, like that undertail exhaust and at stock, it looks pretty great. Like those carbon pieces on the side as well, they really give a nice finishing touch on it. So being a stock muffler, it really looks amazing. Honda did a really good job on that. It also sounds good. It sounds, for those regulations, it sounds really good. Not too loud, but at least it's something of an exhaust note that you get. So let's give it a listen for a second. So it's not a cold start, of course. I don't live at this place, so it's not a cold start. But it has a nice little rumble to it. It's a 600, so it's a screamer, of course. Engine is hot, by the way, so. So it sounds stock, it sounds really great. Sounds really good. For me personally, so those are all the things that I find the most important on it. Of course, you have the main part, the engine. It's your basic 600 inline 4 engine that makes 119 horsepower. At 14,000 RPMs, it produces 68 Newton meters of torque. So those are your basic 600 numbers, not too crazy, but just right. Like basic, this whole bike screams just right. There's nothing extremely wrong or odd with it. It looks good. The engine is without a question super high quality and will go for ages. It's Honda, so it speaks for itself. But there aren't really any things where I can say like this should be better. The only thing that I can say that should be better, but is easily changed, are the tires. So these come with Dunlop Road Sport 2s, yeah, which aren't super bad. Obviously, I didn't take it to the track yet, but I have some chicken fingers, which I don't care because I'm riding on the road. So if I go all the way towards the side, yeah, that's pretty much just asking for trouble, especially on the roads we have over here. And on this way, they feel okay, but from the moment the roads start being a little bit damp or wet, like I'm not getting trust from these tires. So I will switch them out when, I don't know, but for now they're okay. I'm going into the first winter riding with this bike, so we'll see if I'm gonna change them or not. But I need a little bit more stability or feeling of stability in wet conditions, that's for sure. That's obviously something that they use to just take down on the price of the bike. I bought this one for 12k, so basic price is 11.8, but believe it or not, nowadays rear seat cowl, that's an option, and they ask 200 euros for that. You will say, well, why do you take it if it's 200 euros and you sound about it like that? Well, because it's something that I like the look of, and I know myself, I'm gonna have like maybe 2 or 3 passengers in a season, so not a lot, and it just looks better this way, and it fits better as well. The other one, the passenger one, it has a little bit more spacing in between, which I don't like. And this one fits really neatly. It shouldn't be an option in my opinion, it should come stock with the bike, but that's just me. But overall, I'm really pleased with the bike. It runs amazing. It's a 600, so you gotta rev it out a little bit to get some performance out of it, but it runs amazing. Another thing that I like are the headlights when they're on. I'll show you. So, you have those headlights, they look like this, they look great. Like you have those 2 small pupils, and then you have, like I said, the indicators on the side, which give you the constant lighting. Now in the sun, it doesn't look that amazing, or you don't see it that much. But I like it. Like, the front of this bike is for me the masterpiece. So that's basically it for me on the all-round view of the bike. Now we're gonna do a little ride, do some really small back road stuff, and then I'm gonna close off at that point. We're gonna go off now, off on a trip. We're gonna do some back roads. Obviously, this is the first time that I'm actually doing content on this sort of platform. And you would say, like, yeah, first few times, it's really weird talking to yourself. Like, you seem a little bit crazy, even with nobody else around. Like, I can imagine that when you're walking in a crowd and you're talking to yourself this way, people can look at you maybe a little bit funny. But yeah, not too bad up until now. Liking it pretty much. So we're gonna take a little bit of a ride. We're gonna do some small routes, some really small roads, nothing too crazy. The road quality will be okay. Because I still have the other bike, I will do a review on it when I get it back from the guy who's fixing it. But I'm gonna probably sell it pretty soon if I find a buyer. Let's just take a little bit of an exit here. So because it's still the first sort of vlog that I'm doing, review that I'm doing, I'm hoping that the audio will come in through pretty okay. We'll see. And yeah, let's have a little ride. So like I said, the engine is warm. I already did a lot of riding before I did all the content, and even did some in between frames. So the engine would be still pretty warm when I got to it. So we got a little bit of a stretch here. Quick shifter work. Thank you. So quick shifter from 1 to 2, it's pretty heavy. All the rest is great. Now the auto blip, it works amazing. I really love the auto blip. It's really smooth like butter. You just gotta make sure, like from 2 to 1, that you really push down good on it, because if you don't, it might go to neutral. I've had that happen a couple of times, and that's obviously not what you want. Oh, we got some traffic over here. So Belgium is really high traffic, small roads. So a little 600 is perfect for these kinds of situations. It's really flickable. You can have some fun with it in high range. Obviously, it doesn't have a lot of torque like the middleweight 2-cylinders that they sell a lot nowadays. But when you want to ring it, it's got more than enough fun for you. We're gonna take the back roads here. Here we go. We're gonna take the turn. since we are late October, we still have some wet spots in the foresty areas. So I'm not gonna go crazy on some of these corners for obvious reasons. Now this is a corner which they do rally on. As you can see, it has a lot of debris on it, so I'm not taking that. So, in comparison from the bike I had, so my first bike I've been riding for around a year almost. Mid-November I got my license last year. Then I had a break in between riding from mid-April up until August because I had an accident. Yeah, I had an accident the first year of riding. It was not that bad. I flipped it on a low-speed crash. I had to go all the way in on braking, and because it was a 2005 model, it didn't have ABS or nothing, which I liked. Really, to start riding, to start learning, no technology to help you. But yeah, I learned pretty quickly that if you ride with something like that, that you really gotta drive with patience. Nice. Now that's what I call cool. Taking your kids on a trip like that, fun. So where was I? So yeah, I crashed it, I flipped over, so I had a little bit of a break in between, but it really teaches you to drive with patience. And then I started riding it again, started having some flaws, and then I bought this one. So the difference in technology is crazy. So we have the same weight amount, same amount of weight, sorry, on the bike, but this feels like 3 times as light. You can just flick it around like it's nothing. And of course the technology helps a lot in that, but I still think that if I didn't learn on a bike that didn't have all that tech on it, that I would be less capable of riding this the way I can now. Only riding for a year, so obviously I'm still a rookie. That's also the reason why I bought a 600 instead of like a 750 or a 1000. We're going straight through a marsh here. Because I still got plenty to learn. And that's something that I see a lot with bikers, is that I'm not a young guy. Like, I'm 29, so I still count myself pretty young, but not like super young. Is that a lot of people, they go way over their head with these machines and go for something really extreme for like their second or third bike still. And well, if somebody like Valentino Rossi or somebody else that does like super high grade actual racing, if they start off on a 250 like, or even a 125 or less, like who are we to start on something crazy like a 750 or a 1000, or even on your second bike? and I first want to ride on these types of machinery, so my 650 and my 600 for like 2 to 3 years, and after that I can transition to something else. Will that be more ideal for the type of riding that I do, being to work, back to work? Maybe not, but I was raised on the back of a Gixxer 1000, so you can imagine what my way of thinking is. Yeah, brother. Yeah, brother. So even though I was raised on the back of a 1000, I really need to learn first with this 2 to 3 years. Learn to ride efficiently and like the best way you can. And that way when I transition to a 1000, I will have plenty of room to work with for the lower margin of error that I have. It flicks around like it's nothing. So I just stick it in third. And you have plenty. Yeah, that auto blip is amazing. And you have plenty of power to have some fun with. So we're almost at our ending destination, because I've been doing a lot of talking. But yeah, love the bike. What could be improved on it? Well, you're not gonna win any trophies with it in the condition that it is right now. Like the Ducati V2s, like you're not gonna best that one. You have the R9 coming up, which will also have way more torque than this. So it will be way easier to produce power instead of wringing it out all the way. You have the 636. So will this win any championships? No. Is it meant to? Maybe. Is it super fun to ride? Of course it is. Is it nice to look at? Heck yes. It looks amazing. It sounds good being stock with the Euro 5 Plus, but it rides like a charm, and Like you expect from Honda that they have the 600 on point, and when you ride it, it's a staple, and it just works. And it does. And there's the way it looks. I really think it's one of the biggest plus points of this bike. Just the aggressive look up front with the small headlights, with the little wings on it, the little cute wingsies. I really love the way it looks, the way it sounds. It performs just the way it needs to be. And you can flick it around like it's nothing. It's such a light bike. The way you sit on it, the ergonomics are not too crazy. Not, at least for me, I still think like I'm a pretty okay fit guy. Not too crazy, not bragging or something, but like, yeah, okay. But yeah, I still have pretty good wrists when I'm riding this bike. I've done trips for like 4 or 5 hours straight riding, like some little breaks in between, without any issues. Of course, it's all how you just approach it, how you ride it. But for me, it works perfectly, like a charm. We got some people over here. Let me just put it on a little rocky rock. There we go. Better. No. Have a little rock on it. Get under. Yes. Better. No. God damn it. Wait just a sec. Straws sometimes. Buck. Come on. Get on there. Get on there. There we go. Okay, better. So we have some people sitting around. No biggie. Need to be a little bit more quiet. So, I'm not trusting that. I'm not trusting that for 1 second. Move it up a little bit. For a bigger stone. There we go. Way better. Because we are not trusting that little rock. So, where are the donkeys? There should be like a couple of donkeys going around here. Well, anyway, this is a nice place to just wrap things up. This is a fun place to come and swim in the summer. So, that's pretty much it for the review. I really love the bike. It has everything you want from it for a 600. Again, it looks amazing. For me, that's pretty much it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe. Even though it's like the first video. it's gonna be a learning process, like being the first video that I actually made. Bit of a growing curve, obviously, which will be going on. It was pretty fun to do. So, like, subscribe, and see you guys in the next one, maybe.